Greetings, salutations, I'm Dexter from Mr. Strip, and in this episode we'll be discussing going to the strip club for the first time. We'll begin with the beginning as far as getting ready to go. First, triple S, shit, shower, and shave. You want to shit because you don't want any gophering happening when you're getting a lap dance by a dancer. Shaving, you want your skin as smooth as a baby's butt just in case the dancer happens to be rubbing some part of her body up against your face. Now, showering is getting ready to go, plain and simple. And as an aside to that, you could apply a little bit of cologne. Just make sure it's a slight amount of cologne. There's tons of videos out there on explaining how to properly and improperly put on cologne. Just check those out so your aroma doesn't become overpowering either through BO or through cologne. Next, we'll be discussing what to wear to a strip club for the first time. Starting from the bottom with your shoes, don't wear any open-toed shoes or flip-flops. No one wants to see your ugly ass, fungus-filled big toe sticking out at a strip club. As far as pants go, moving on up, stay away from sweatpants and shorts, particularly basketball-style shorts, because dancers do not want to give dances to the customers who wear those the majority of the time. The reason for this is because it allows easy access for the customer to pull something out that they should not be pulling out at a strip club. Also, I would not recommend wearing jeans as far as pants because if you get a lap dance and the girl is grinding on your thighs or your lap, jeans can actually cause irritation and pain, causing them to pull away, and usually you don't want dancers to pull away from you. So I would recommend wearing as frictionless pants as possible. Even if you like the jean style, they do have blends where they have spandex or some other stretchy material within the jeans to make it smooth. And as far as what to wear on top, just stay away from wearing gang colors, motorcycle club colors, symbols, and such like that. And in fact, a lot of the clubs do have that as part of their dress code because they really don't want any fights breaking out inside the club if they could help it. It's supposed to be a happy place. Now that you're all dressed and ready to go to the strip club, what do you bring with you? First off, of course, is going to be your ID. Most clubs that serve alcohol are 21 and over. Other clubs that do not serve alcohol tend to be 18 and over. There are clubs out there that serve alcohol and allow 18 and overs to enter, but what they do is that they identify them as being under 21 and will not serve them alcohol during their stay. So you go in, get your ID checked either visually or put through a computer, and you pay your cover charge. Most clubs do have a cover charge, although some clubs do not have a cover charge during the weekdays when it's slower, while other clubs actually increase their cover charge during weekend nights and during special events that are occurring in the city. Speaking of cover charge, it's time to talk about money and how you bring money with you to a strip club. I'm a big proponent of bringing cash only. That way when you're done and you leave. It saves from a lot of having a regret the next morning that you spent an additional $1,000 you weren't expecting to, that was saved away to go on vacation with a wife and kids. There are certain times when bringing a credit card with you, particularly if it is for a large gathering like a business or for a bachelor's party, something like that. That way you can get everything on one bill and either sort that out later or just take all the cost. One thing with the credit cards to remember is know when your server is about ready to end her shift. That way you can charge out the credit card and give her a tip before the next server comes on. I am not a fan of bringing debit cards to strip club because it's too easy to, like I said, withdraw the additional money, especially when there's a hot, beautiful woman sitting next to you asking you if you want a VIP with her, and she's all raring to go. Usually ends up being just a normal VIP. But it's kind of funny when you're sitting there and you watch them. The dancers seem to be like a mommy taking a toddler to a counter when they're taking them to the ATM. One thing with ATMs is that their convenience fee or service charge tends to be rather up there. The least expensive ones I've seen were $10 per transaction, and I've seen up to $50 per transaction. What I usually do is go to an ATM before going to the strip club, particularly ones that have other denominations other than $20 bills. So that way I can actually organize how I'm going to be spending my money that night. The $50 bills go towards getting dances and VIPs. The $20, I actually set that aside for how much I'm going to be drinking that night. And then the 1s and 5s are what I'm going to be tipping on stage with. That way, I don't have to worry about asking for change or seeing if I could get another bunch of ones or bunch of fives and break a 50 for that. I have it all set up and ready for you. Just makes it a hell of a lot easier, and you can actually divide it up into different pockets, so you seem a lot smoother when you're pulling out this money rather than cycling through all of your bills at one time. Next is breath mints. You really don't want to have halitosis at a strip club, especially because those dancers tend to lean in and whisper in your ear or leaning close to talk to you because it is a loud club. You don't want your obnoxious breath to knock them back and ignore you or leave you. So, breath mints, particularly if you're a smoker. I tend to, when I go to the strip club for the first time, I don't know what their internal regulations are, so I just put a mask in my pocket, and if they require masks at particular times, then I'm able to apply it without having to run back into my car and getting all flustered or what have you. Finally, bring along your phone set to vibrate. Don't use it to take pictures because the bouncers will aggressively ask you to leave and never come back if they catch you taking pictures of the dancers. What I use it for is a little cheat sheet, so after I get a dance from a dancer or talk with a dancer for a while, after she leaves, I'm able to put that information into my phone and create cheat sheets, so next time I come back, I have a little bit of information on her. And finally is, if you get digits, then have her put her digits in your phone, and then she can text herself, and that way she doesn't have to run back to the dressing room to get her phone, all that other kind of stuff. She can just text herself and then let her text you back if she wants to text or call you. So, now that you're all prepped to go, when do you go to the strip club? If you're looking for like the meat market experience where a bunch of beautiful dancers will grind upon you throughout the night, and a wide variety of dancers will, Friday and Saturday nights are your best bet. But don't expect them to sit down and talk for an extended period of time, because to them, they're at work and it's a numbers game. If they only work Friday and Saturday nights, that's what's going to have to last them throughout the rest of the week. So, for them, it's a numbers game and they are at their job. If you're looking more for the girlfriend experience, then I would recommend going weekdays or weekday nights, because usually there is less customers during those nights and the dancers are fewer, but in comparison there tends to be a lot more dancers per capita, I guess, per customer than they are during the weekends. And they are more affable to sit down and talk with you for a longer period of time. And finally, it is up to the particular club, but a lot of times the newer dancers to the club actually work on the weekdays, and then the more experienced ones, the women who have been working at the club for longer times, they actually work on the Fridays and Saturdays because, again, that's when most of the men come in. So if you're looking for fresh blood, sometimes it's better to come during the days because that's when all the newest girls are dancing. So you made your way into this den of depravity. Now, what etiquette should you follow while you're in there? The first off is, if the most basic is, if you sit around the stage, you should be tipping every dancer that dances on the stage. Even if you're sitting with another dancer and you're talking, if the dancer's on the stage, just throw her one tip, just say excuse me, give her a tip, and then go right back into conversations. The dancers that you're sitting with do not get peeved, and they actually respect that for you doing that, just because they know how hard it is to be up on that stage and getting dances. If it's the first time at your club, tell the first dancer who sits down with you that it is your first time, because then she will probably give you the cost of the couch dances, the cost of the VIPs per the time limit, if there are 2-for-1s available, other things like that about the club. And if she's personable enough and if you think she's open to her, ask if she can give you a tour of the club to show you around where the couches are, where the VIP rooms are, and other things like that. That way you know what you're getting into before you get that $30 dance initially. But if she does give you a tour and sits down with you for an extended time, tip her, just because she's spending time with you when she's at work. Because all the dancers at a strip club are at work wanting to get money. Keep that in the forefront of your brain always. If a dancer sits down with you for an extended period of time, particularly like over 10 minutes or so, tip her, even if you're not going to get a dance from her. The expectation is when a dancer sits down and talks to a customer, that customer will be getting a lap dance from her. So don't waste their time because they are at work. So tip them if they sit down with you for 30 minutes. Tipping dancers makes your time with them more pleasurable. But tipping the bartenders and serving staff makes your entire night experience more enjoyable. So just remember to tip your servers and bartenders nicely, because then they become attentive to you and your drinks suddenly start to get a little bit better and a little bit stronger and a lot more frequent visits by the serving staff. So I think I covered the basics for going to the strip club for the first time. If you guys have any other comments or hints to people going to the strip club for the first time, leave them in the comments down below. And with that, goodbye.